Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Woman News gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know it can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman News.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News.
Let's go. Let's start this show. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. Good morning. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. Happy fucking Friday. I hope it's a good Friday for some. I hope it's a payday for others. I hope you are either off, relaxing, just getting up, getting ready to start your day. I'm glad you are here with me. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to my members, moderators, subscribers, anybody stopping by. This video has just popped up in your recommendations and you just clicked on it like, what is he talking about? I'm saying good morning to you. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Today's show is nothing but local news. Okay, nothing but local news. There will be no hot topics today. I'll be back with hot topics maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. I don't know when I find some interesting stuff. But today is all local news. So we got so many things to cover. But you will see a lot of stories coming out of South Carolina today. I'm not sure why that has happened. Good morning, Fates. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Peace, love. Good morning, peace. Good morning, peace. Peace to you. Good morning. Naries, what up? What up, Naries? Good morning to you. Kings Mina, good morning. Jernay, good morning. Up early. You'll be listening. Thank you. I appreciate it. And shout out to everybody listening at the crack of dawn. Please make sure you hit that like button on your way in. Subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber. And hit the notification bell if you have not turned on the notification bell. So you know when I drop a video or go live, anything like that, you'll be the first one to get those news. Good morning, Shantae. Good morning. All right, I'm not gonna hold y'all up. We're gonna get right into some things. So if you haven't noticed and if you want to follow along with today's show, I dropped all the topics in the description box. There's about 13 topics we're gonna go through today, and I'm promising to get through these topics in 2 hours. So let's just hop right into some of this stuff. Yes, and please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and do not forget to hit the notification bell. Please don't. All right. So I don't know if you all have been hearing about this whole sleepy chicken challenge on TikTok, but it's gotten out of hand to the point where the FDA had to come out. So there's this new trend on TikTok. Please don't cook chicken in Nyquil. I'm mad that the FDA has to tell people not to cook their chicken in Nyquil. So there's this TikTok craze going on where people are actually pouring the NyQuil on their chicken. Now this was a little thing that started back in 2017. This man had put this tweet out about him wanting his girlfriend was trying to dose him or something, so she put NyQuil in his chicken. Well, it picked up some more traction. Folks on TikTok picked it up, and they're actually doing it. Now the FDA issued a statement saying that while this may be funny and some people may not even be eating it because they're doing it just for this joking, what they're saying is that if you boil a medication, it'll make it much more concentrated and it'll change its properties in other ways. So like if you don't even eat the chicken, if you inhale the medication's vapors while cooking, it can cause high levels of the drugs to enter your body. So let me show you what folks are doing with this whole NyQuil challenge. Now, I ain't gonna even say that, but I did scan across a couple of TikTok videos to see who was doing something like this. Yeah, and you all see. So take a look at this little challenge. Like 4. Hold up, let me make sure it's up on the screen. Oh yes, on the screen. All right, take.
This is your first time cooking sleepy chicken. You want to use like 4/3 of the bottle. 3 Applejack, 4 Applejack, 5 Applejack, 6 Applejack, 7 Applejack, 8 Applejack, 9. Yeah, but the boiling means it's really seeping into the chicken. Seeping in, seeping in, seeping in. Ah.
The fuck is wrong with people? Who is putting NyQuil on their chicken? Like, come on, out of everything you can do, and people are actually doing it. Now, there are some people who are eating the chicken, and there are some people who are just doing it for the TikTok challenge, just to put it up there. Either or is stupid, and either or is dangerous. One, of course, is heavily concentrated. And the main drug that becomes heavily concentrated and is a big compound in NyQuil is the acetaminophen and the dextromethorphan. Because all of these medications are high on drugs that stimulate nerves. You know, when you get a headache, they tell you to take an Advil or all these different medications. Can you imagine boiling that shit? So the problem is, though, is that children have been taking hold of this challenge. So you got kids doing this stuff. Now, I don't know how any parents are letting their kids in the kitchen with a bottle of NyQuil over some chicken breast. But back to the same thing I thought about was those Tide Pods, where kids was eating the Tide Pods. Y'all better get a hold of your children and ask them what the hell they watching. That shit is disgusting. It's beyond stupid. Is that what that bush? Yes, sleepy chicken. Good morning, Brick Girl. Shaking my head. I just gave my daughter some last night for us like cold. Hey, Jay Green. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know, it ain't. Listen, I had to say, I was doing some watching, and I pretty much can tell, you know, where this is starting. TikTok doing more harm to everything than good. It's gotten to the point where what TikTok is doing now, before any challenge you watch, any challenge on TikTok, they have an alert popping up saying, TikTok challenges may be harmful. Please do this at your own risk before you even watch a video. You know it's got to be harmful when you have to start putting that on challenges for TikTok. Like, get out of here. Lean chickens deserve chicken. Damn shame. 4/3 of the bottle. It's no season. Maybe crackhead antics. Dumbass people. The babies. Yes, the babies. The babies. So you all be careful about, you know, who... if your children ask you for NyQuil and you see some chicken breast sitting on the stove, please know that that's not nothing. That's not to be taken lightly. That it's a stupid ass challenge going on. And for the life of me, I didn't want to promote the tweet or share the tweet because I didn't want to promote it in the algorithm. So I just left it alone. But I wanted to talk to you all about it. Now, here's another story that's crazy to me, but I need to get the women and the men in the chat. I need your opinion. Okay. So let's say you and your partner, your girlfriend or your husband had been trying to have babies, right? So then, you know, the doctor tells you you're not going to be able to have kids. And then you have twins through IVF, and it's so bad that you had to have a hysterectomy. So then you want to grow your family, but you can't have kids anymore. So the husband's mom steps in and says, hey, I'll carry your baby. So mom in Utah decides to carry her son's child at 56. Now, I mean, it's a blessing that I think that your mom would step up for something like this. but it's a little, it creeped me out a little bit. I said, wow, okay. I was reading some comments. People were like, it ain't really that big of a deal. It's the mother. She should be able to do that for her child if she wants to. I don't know. I want to get y'all opinion. I don't want to go too heavy on it because some of you all might agree. So the grandmother offered to become a surrogate for her son and his wife after her daughter-in-law had a life-saving hysterectomy following the traumatic birth of their second set of twins. She said she suddenly had a feeling after a few months that she should offer up to do it. And she told her son, he teared up, he was shocked. She didn't even tell her husband, but they've been real supportive. So she started her therapy treatment in January. The baby is due in November. And so the family, they live in Utah. They're being supportive of each other. Everybody's warmed up to the idea. First, her other children and friends were like really anxious about it, like me. But they're expecting a girl in November, and they are this is all on the up and up and up. Now, news crew, can y'all be real with me? I mean, tell me the real. If you think like, yeah, if my son said he needed somebody to carry their child and I was available, I would do it. Like, if that's the case, then let me know, because I can grow my ass up and accept that. But wow, that was a lot for me. I just gave mine some before bed last night. These people are turning it into a damn condiment as high as chickens and some shit. Girl, them chicken breasts, they are expensive nowadays. You out here playing with it in some damn cough syrup. If you don't get your ass out my kitchen, exactly. That's an incredible, okay, it's an incredible sweet gesture. Okay. Good morning. Have you seen the price of chicken? I don't think it's a problem. Okay, that's what I needed. That's a really loving thing. Okay. So that'll be her grandchild, baby. It's giving country. Shout out to B. Scott. I got this article from her website, and I was reading the comments on her website, and it was very much so mixed, right? Lord have mercy. When my daughter miscarried, I offered and was prepared to carry my daughter's child, and we were ready 3 years ago, but God stepped in and we have Sunny. Okay. I mean, if they searched and no one else could do it, why not? To each his own. I can't judge. Not me. I acted a fool with the 3 I have already. I mean, it's a learning lesson for me to see that, it is a kind gesture. It is something that, some of you all may think about if your child or if your daughter or if your son ever asked you to do it. I'm a male, so it just looked at, I was like, wow. No one else stepped up to the plate. Her friends didn't step up to the plate. I said, okay, great. Shout out to mom. I think that's a good thing to do. You would be just carrying your grandchild. You had no input in making it. It's a grown-up thing. Okay. I can come to accept that. Now, this next story, we talked about this before. And I talked about it. I brought up hold up, I'm just trying to, okay, I got it. So we talked about this before about Marc Wilson. So this was the black man in Georgia who was sentenced to 10 years for fatally shooting a 17-year-old after he was almost run off the road by white teens in a truck yelling racial slurs. Now, we talked about this story, and when I talked about it, and I said the same thing then, I had to go watch my old video. I'm saying now, that man had every right to defend him. You cannot expect to anticipate the level of threat or violence when it's a group of people. You just can't. You automatically go to, I can be harmed in a situation. This man was riding in a pickup truck, not a pickup truck. I remember the car specifically, reading the article again, a Honda Civic, Ford Focus, with his white girlfriend, right? And these guys in a pickup truck, some in the back, some inside, were riding behind them, followed them from a restaurant, riding behind them, yelling all kind of racial slurs. He even said that they said, I'm gonna kill you and stuff like that, throwing stuff all on the car, trying to throw them off the lane. And he's just driving, doing his thing. And so when they tried to swerve him off the lane, he pulled out his gun and he fired. Now, when he fired, he struck a female in the pickup truck. And of course, she wasn't doing anything. She was just merely an innocent bystander in the car. Well, you rest in peace to her. You know, I definitely don't want nobody ever to die from a situation like this. But when you hang with people who act like that, you have to also suffer the consequences that they might suffer. So she, you know, and I'm not saying that's what she gets, but I'm saying that that's the result of being around these people. So now, any other place where there's a stand your ground, defend yourself law, he would be off the hook, right? Because he was protecting himself. He felt threatened. Of course, there were layers of threats. There was multiple people involved. Unfortunately, no, he was sentenced to 10 years. Regardless of what they thought, the judge actually had to issue a very, very wise statement because, you know, he wanted to make clear that I want everyone in this room to know that regardless of a person's race, whether it's their birth certificate, what they may identify as, whatever race they say they are, this court is colorblind. And I can assure you that the sentence that Mr. Wilson gets today will be the same sentence as any person of any color under the same circumstances. Get the fuck out of here. I don't even believe that. So he's facing between 1 and 10 years behind bars. He received 10. Now, the girl in the situation, you know, who was riding in the car with him, she went on to even say in her testimony that if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't even be alive. Going on to say, I fully believe Marc saved my life that night. I wholly believe if Marc was not there that night and wouldn't have done what he did, we would have both been dead. And so the prosecutors, of course, in court was arguing that words alone should not have permitted him to use open fire. Whoa. Are we going back to Trayvon? How many instances where there was words, then gun, and then you defended yourself by using it? Trayvon Martin instance, Zimmerman, where stand your ground became in and he got the fuck off. It blew my mind when I saw this. I thought for certain he would have been cleared, but no. And I'm glad we stuck to following this story. So here is, let me see, do I have it? Yes, I have his sentencing. I better start popping up the right way.
Jeremy, thank you. We want to now go straight to some breaking news that's in the sentencing of Marc Wilson.
A Statesboro judge just sentenced Wilson to the max of 10 years in prison. Now, that is, like I said, the max sentence after Wilson was convicted last month of involuntary manslaughter in the shooting death of Haley Hutchison.
Wilson has argued that he was shooting in self-defense after he says a group of people shouted racial slurs and tried to run him off the road with a pickup truck. That shooting happened back in June of 2020. Right now, our Nakaya Carrero is in the courtroom, and coming up, she will have a live report with reaction to that 10-year sentence.
Horrible. I honestly feel like that was a wrongful conviction of this man. He completely stood his ground in his defense. That could have been me. That could have been anybody we know. Now this man is facing 10 years. I'm sure they're going to appeal this decision from the court, but at the same time, how is it right for somebody else? You put anybody in those shoes up against that kind of pressure, driving in a car with their white girlfriend. So you obviously know that that person in the car isn't being racist to the people to them. They have a reason to defend themselves. What was he supposed to do? Drive off the road, drive to the nearest what? At that point, it became defend yourself, back them up, you know? So that's why I was like, wow, that's not an issue. As we begin to experience more infertility issues, we need to keep options open. Thank you. Thank you, news crew, for opening my mind up to that. Because I definitely did take a very immature look at that and say, wow, your mom is carrying your child. Wow. Okay. Look at those Kardashians, baby. Oh, you're right. It would have been her egg and my son-in-law's sperm, but I would have only carried. Hey, Deborah Mayo, good morning to you. Good morning, BB Nice. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to BB Nice. Thank you for being here this morning. Renting a uterus is expensive. Y'all stop. Captivating Christian. Good morning, sir. Good morning to you. Bull. Completely bull. He didn't even have to make that statement. Clearly, were the guys in the car charged? Were the guys in the car charged as well? It didn't say in this sentencing report were the guys charged. Let me see. The jury didn't convict him. No, they weren't in this report. They weren't charged here. That's a good question. They weren't charged. According to the case's judge, Wilson will have the opportunity to request a new trial. We're going to continue to fight for this young man at each stage. According to Wilson's defense team, Wilson's lead lawyer, no, I don't see anything where it says they were charged. If anybody knows, was the guys, the perpetrator, the actual people who were perpetrating racist remarks towards him, if you all know if they were charged? If not, don't worry. I will put something together to give you all that update. What an injustice. What a complete injustice. I can only imagine how the family feel. Like, then what do we do in those instances? As a black man, what do I do? What do you think I'm going to do? I already tell y'all, crazy as a motherfucker. What do you think I'm going to do? So, wow. If he has any type of GoFundMe or something up, I will definitely share that in future shows just to offer support to this young man and his family. Just like everybody else be needing support. I'm sure he's going to need some support as well. So shout out to Marc Wilson. I hate that you got this conviction. Rest in peace to Haley. I'm sorry you were among these troublemakers and it took your life. That's the saddest part about this. And I hope it's a lesson learned for people who hang with people who are racist like this. Like, that shit can get deadly for you. Don't think about it's fun being with them. Think about what could happen to you, because it ain't a lot of us who will deal with that shit. I'm just being honest with you. All right, moving along. So now this next story, y'all, is so fucking crazy to me. It's crazy as hell to me. So this janitor was found dead in a department store bathroom 4 days after she went missing. So get into this. She works at this mall. Let me pull up. She works at this mall, right? In South Carolina, 63 years old, right? So she's working at the mall on Thursday. Now, this is Thursday, September 15th. Last Thursday, she's in the mall working. She ends her shift later that evening by pushing her clean the bathroom cart. What did they call it? The carts. She pushed it to the bathroom. Camera footage got her going into the bathroom. No footage has ever got her coming out the bathroom, right? They didn't know. A missing report went the next day. No one knew she was in the bathroom that whole fucking time until Monday. Now, mind you, the mall was open Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And you mean to tell me nobody went in that bathroom? Nobody saw her car outside the bathroom? Nothing? Now, of course, the police and everybody's saying it's not foul play. They don't suspect anything like that. They think it's natural causes, but an autopsy is going to be done. The fuck? So they was interviewing some of the people who was like in and out of the mall. And this one lady was like, she was like, I was just there yesterday. If I'd gone in the restroom, which I usually do a lot, I don't know. That's just terrible. There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. And I'm like, a lot of questions that need to be answered. To me, there's a whole story here. How do you just be working? Imagine your mall in your community, right? You go to work and you at the last shift, you go into the bathroom. I don't know. Maybe you were tired. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe you slipped and fell and bumped your head. Something happened. But I'm almost positive that security checks go on before the mall is shut down. I'm almost positive the next day before the mall opens up, the next person who's cleaning, I hope you're going into that bathroom. Are we for real? So it's so sad. And the family is like, they want answers. They want to know what happened. I'm like, I want to know what happened too. I'm all in the mix now. Talking about it wasn't foul play. Okay, I'm still trying to run with that narrative. It wasn't foul play. Maybe, it was something, biological, something that happened to her. Yeah, but I just want to rule everything else out. I really do. So stay tuned to this story. Her name is Bessie Adams. Bessie Durham. She's 63. She was found in the Columbiana Center in Columbia, South Carolina. Wow. Now that right there blew my mind. I'm like, okay, you see, either some nasty ass people in the world who went in the mall and was like, oh, I don't care, or y'all, I don't know, I can't get to the end of that. Dig deep, okay? We are not peaceful. You know it. You know we not. So no, fates. I said the same thing. I said, Fates, wait now. So you mean to tell me nobody went into the bathroom? Nobody went into the bathroom. 4 days. Yes, the smell alone would have caused questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. The guys in the truck should also be charged in the female's death because they also contributed to her demise. They were the cause. And I'm wholeheartedly with you. That would have been up and down my defense. It was for their decisions that caused this to happen. Had they not did what they did, I would have had not taken the choice to defend myself. You right about that. And the lady in the mall, did they notice that she didn't punch in for her next shift? I mean, we have so many questions. Rest in peace to her, huh? Where was she found? Closet? Yes, follow up. No, she was found in a stall in the bathroom. Even that. I'm thinking about the malls that I go to. I don't know how many stalls in the female. I'm sure there's all stalls in the female bathroom, but I'm sure eventually the next day, everyone is getting open to restock and re-clean and refresh. You didn't open that middle one and see her there. So as more information come out, I definitely will keep y'all updated on this one because it's given foul play, but I don't want to believe that that's what it is, that this woman just was at her shift and all of a sudden somebody took her out. And nobody knew until 4 days later. Yeah, I'm not only worried for her now, I'm worried for abducted citizens, other shit that go on at that mall. Y'all really aren't paying attention to it. This sounds like a whole holding cell for trafficking. Like, what's going on? I would be alarmed if I was a citizen going here. I would definitely have questions like, oh, wow. So somebody can just be, for real? Yeah, at all. No one noticed that her car was still at the workplace. That would have been the first place I'd look. It doesn't. I'll stay tuned. I will definitely stay tuned. The information just came out yesterday about her being found on Monday from last week. And I mean, I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, I don't want to start going to the family because you know me, it wouldn't have took 4 days because I would have been at that mall Friday. What's going on? Drove around that. I'd have saw a car. I'd have saw something. I'd have been in every stall. Sir, that's a female's bathroom. Right now, I'm an investigator. Okay, I'm investigating a missing person. We'd have been doing something. Okay. Oh shit. All right. So stay tuned. Rest in peace to Mrs. Bessie. She said that she had been working at that mall for years. And it's so sad. You work a place for all that time and you don't even get the love and joy of or respect that somebody will find you if you go missing. So rest in peace to her. Now, this other weird story. So we have out of Atlanta. Okay. I never even heard of this man. So we have this rapper, right? So apparently he moved into this complex. And see, I'm thinking he wants to go viral because no one ever heard of him. And so now this is putting him on the map because I had to go to his Instagram page and figure out, and he's not it for me at all. So we have this Atlanta rapper, right? He's arrested of exposing himself from an apartment balcony in Midtown. That's not even it, y'all. We're going to watch the video clip, but that's not it. Here's the thing. This man will go on his balcony for a period of 2 fucking weeks. Go on his balcony and piss off his balcony onto the people that's walking by. They didn't do shit for 2 weeks. They literally was like, oh, maybe I'll just walk by with an umbrella. They were literally walking by with umbrellas because they didn't want him. Do you know how hard body I'd have been on that building? First of all, when you look at this high rise, you know that they're paying a lot of money to live here. So we're not dealing with some, people who are just trying to make it and don't really care. We're dealing with people who are putting up top dollar. So this man is just pissing all over these people, and he would just do it. And people and construction workers, I'm sitting at all these hard ass men, just like, yeah, I was just gonna wear a umbrella. We're gonna see the clip. I'm saying, like, really? So much for like having some respect for yourself. Ain't no wearing no fucking umbrella. We finna go upstairs and see what's going on. So check this out. Let me share this clip. He looked crazy. I never heard of his music before. Never heard of his music. I don't know if y'all heard of him. His name is Shawty Dred.
Here at 5 o'clock, only Channel 2 Action News was there as police arrested a man accused of being naked on a Midtown Atlanta high-rise balcony. People say this has been going on for weeks at the Icon Atlanta high-rise right there at 14th and West Peachtree. So we plotted it on this map so you can see where it is in relation, let's say, to Piedmont Park. Channel 2's Tom Jones is there live. And Tom, I'm going to leave this one up to you because some people, he's been doing something else up there.
That's right. Mercedes Nude, the Atlanta rapper known as Shawty Dred, is accused of being nude and relieving himself from a balcony way up there. People here said he did it so often they thought about using an umbrella to cover themselves when they walked in this area. I was right here when Nude was arrested. He told me he did nothing wrong.
I'm famous. I'm on TV, bro. I didn't do this, man. No.
We were the only crew in Midtown when Atlanta police arrested Mercedes Nude.
I'm innocent. I promise I didn't do this.
What he's accused of doing had people who work near 14th and West Peachtree Street using words like gross, unconscionable, and insane.
That's disgusting.
What is wrong with these people today?
Holy what you got to... People who work and walk in the area say for weeks a man routinely walked out of a high-rise unit at the Icon Midtown Apartments with not a stitch of clothes on. They say he then relieves himself through the balcony bars with his bodily fluids falling down below. Someone sent us video of the man in the act, but asked us not to show it. But I showed it to people walking in the area.
Oh my God, this kind of exceeds the bounds of decency. You even think that someone would even do that in an area where you have people walking by.
I was there as police arrived and began investigating after a manager of a nearby high-rise called and complained. I watched as an officer went inside the Icon Apartments and moments later came out with a handcuffed Nude who matched the description of the nude man in the video. I asked Nude if he relieved himself from the balcony.
No, I wasn't. I promise I wasn't.
Who's that in the video?
I didn't see no. I promise I wasn't in the.
And Nude, who bills himself as a
Hell no. So you mean to tell me, first of all, I'd have been in my apartment complex, high-rise people, I'd have been all over their ass. It took another building to report him, and he's pissing out your building. I would have been down there on their ass. So y'all know that man upstairs pissing. If I swear, if I get one drop of piss on me, I'm wrapping this bitch up in so much motherfucking litigation. Y'all are condoning this. This is pure negligence. What the fuck is going on? Oh, I think he was on the 16th floor. Can you imagine that just dropping on you? And some people probably thought it was rain. Oh my God. I would have, yeah, he already looked slow. I'd have just helped him right on his way. Like, come on, you obviously want to be in the upper room sooner than later. Let's just go there. Who the fuck you think you pissing on? That's some nasty shit. And I was looking at the officer arresting him. I'm like, I'm shocked you ain't got no gloves on. This man out here, bodily fluids and shit all over the place. You all nasty, and you give people a bad fucking name. I'm assured that you were among a lot of the diverse residents in that high rise. You just, yeah, shit like that. Embarrassing. Okay, theory. She went into use the washroom and suffered a high. Still, it should be investigated. Somebody should have walked in the bathroom. That's crazy. How many times when you walk into a public restroom that you peep underneath the stall? Period. You peeping. If I saw somebody laid out, I'm like, oh shit. I'm not recording. I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm going to get a police officer because in my mind, I ain't had nothing to do with this shit. I walked in here and I saw this shit just like everybody else. Crime scene. Another thing, how many of us at work just go sit in the bathroom just to kill time? Like nobody went there just to do that. Ain't no way I would have been at his door. Fates. When I tell you I would have been at that man's door, I'd have knocked his ass the fuck out. I would have been at that man's door. You mean to tell me you've been pissing for 2 weeks? Like this is your commode? You just pissing off the balcony and I live here? Imagine the people who live above him. See, yeah, slow as hell and a rapper. I couldn't find anything on him that I could watch or listen to. Freaky deaky ass. I think it was the 16th floor. You may piss me off, but you ain't gonna piss on me. We ain't in Dubai. Absolutely not. I am not into water sports, period. Now that's just freaky. He's too old to be so ignorant. And he's lying through those veneers. You could tell he was lying. Good morning, Voodoo. Good morning, Voodoo. Happy Friday. The pissy posse. Okay, dropping hella hard. Okay, that's a piss poor excuse of a man child. Exactly. All right. Now we're gonna start moving more into some more of the serious stories. So first story up is coming to us out of Chicago. So, and this is a very story. I just wanted to slap the lady my damn self. So this woman, let me see, do I have the overlay? Okay, got the overlay. So this woman, right, in Chicago, this child, this little baby, is in the care of his grandmother. So this child was not expected to survive after his aunt allegedly threw him off the Navy pier and watched him sink to the bottom. Now let's get into this, right? So this little baby boy is in the care of his grandmother, not in the care of his biological mom for some reason. Don't know, maybe she gave him up or whatever. But the grandmother is watching over the boy. Now the boy is 3 years old. So the boy had been at the grandmother's house chilling, playing with the grandmother. And for some reason, this woman, crazy ass woman, which is his auntie, decided to steal the grandmother's car keys, put the boy without his consent from the grandmother, who was his guardian at the time, into the truck and drive her ass to the Navy pier. Now, if you don't know the Navy pier, there are spots where it's surface and then it's rocks and then it's the lake. And then there's parts where it's boarded up. You can't even get that close. So she goes out there, and this is her story. This is what she says. Oh, yeah, I wanted to take him to the Navy pier so he can get on rides. And he was irritating me. He started, fussing. So I let go of his shirt, and he went down. Now, eyewitnesses who were on the scene, they actually said they saw this woman push this little boy into the river and look over and watch to make sure he was going down and continue walking forward. One of the eyewitnesses was like, she had walked past her and her boyfriend had walked past the woman, and was like, is that your child? Because they saw the child with her as they got up to her. And then when they walked past her and they heard this thud drop and they looked over, ma'am, is that your child? And she just was like, she didn't scream. She didn't call for help. So the man called for 911 and went to go get a flotation device. By the time they got to the baby, listen to this, y'all. It was 30 minutes of him being submerged and hitting the bottom of the riverbed, the Lake Michigan riverbed. By the time they got to him, he had suffered a stroke, a heart attack. He's not expected to survive. He has seizures and all the likes. And now the family is claiming that she had mental health and that she hadn't been taking her medication. Are you fucking serious? I'm in the right mind to hold all you bitches on collusion. This sounds like some premeditated shit. Like y'all already didn't care about the child and you all decided to do this all together. The grandfather has came out and released a statement saying that our family is grieving at this time. We just wish that everybody just privacy and all this good stuff. I'm not buying none of that shit. Y'all get into this clip. I ain't buying none of that shit. How she just willfully just take the truck and just drive to the Navy pier and just do all of it. It's too, like, I don't know. I don't know about this story, y'all. Let me see. Here it go. Fuck wrong with people? And you the auntie, bitch. If you don't go take your ass somewhere, find a hobby, find something else to do. What the fuck you out here taking somebody's child? Crazy ass. Fuck wrong with you?
We are learning disturbing new details about what led up to the moment a woman allegedly pushed her
3-year-old nephew into Lake Michigan. You can see Victoria Moreno standing by the flowers next to rescuers on Navy Pier.
Yeah, we want to warn you, this story will be difficult to hear. Our Tara Molina live at Lurie Children's Hospital, where the little boy is still in critical condition. And Tara, his injuries are extensive and they're very serious.
Joe and Erica, extensive and serious, doesn't even cover it. They were described as life-threatening in court today to the judge, a hearing that was really hard to listen to. That little 3-year-old boy is still hospitalized here at Lurie Children's. He has a swollen brain, bleeding in his lungs, and we're told he's gone into cardiac arrest a number of times. Victoria Moreno snuck her 3-year-old nephew out of the family home, drove him to Chicago, and ultimately pushed him into Lake Michigan, making no attempt to call for help to save him. That's what prosecutors detailed in her bond hearing Wednesday. Moreno is charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated battery to a child, the judge calling her a danger to children in her family and children in general. The prosecutor said Moreno stole keys to a car she's not supposed to drive because of medication she's on for mental health issues, then headed to Chicago, eventually making her way to Navy Pier. While there with the 3-year-old, she let him crawl under the barrier, blocking the sidewalk from the water a number of times. While looking around, waiting for people to leave, she crouched down, straddled him, and pushed him into Lake Michigan, then sat down and stared into the water where the little boy was struggling, saying and doing nothing. All of this caught on surveillance cameras. See this photo from Ashton King. She was on the pier and saw the 3-year-old in the water, immediately jumping into action while she said she watched Moreno do the exact opposite. This is her standing by police and the dive team who rescued the little boy. In court, we learned she told first responders she didn't know the boy or what happened.
The red flags were there. She was acting very weird. I did end up telling the officer, I said, listen, she was the only one here when we got here. She's just been acting off, weird. Like, I just don't know if she's all, something is not right.
Period. Period. The girl that just said that all the signs were there, they weren't just there, what you saw. They had always been there. That woman should have never had no fucking access to anybody's child off her medication. The fact that y'all could verify she was off her medication, that she stole a vehicle with no keys, that she drove this. I want everybody up the wazoo on hold. Her, the grandmother, the granddaughter, the grandfather, all y'all. I would at least get y'all ass in court and tell me why the fuck, what happened? When did you know she was off her medication? How did she get access to the child? Because you have guardianship. You have an extra layer of expectedness around you. I expect you to be looking for shit like this. That child is 3 years old. Didn't know no fucking better. And I could just imagine a baby crawling, and they said his eyes started bulging open because that's flight. That's flight. That's flight or survival. Even in a little ass infant, they know when it's risk and fear is coming. They know, they can see that shit. They feel that shit. You may not recognize it. They know that shit. His eyes lit up and she just did nothing, standing there. I'd have slapped that bitch so hard. I was trying to find out where the mother was. I kept trying to find out. I got no information on the mother or the father. I'm telling you now, I'm always against putting hands on women or vulnerable populations, but I would have strangled her. Yes, I would have. A 3-year-old into the lake though. Into the lake. That shit is sad. That's some poor ass behavior. Excuse me, I said Lake Michigan River earlier. I was just so upset by this story. It just pissed me the fuck off. It pissed me all off. I would have skinned his ass. What's his rap name? Lil Drip. Lil Drip. Now, what's funny is during the guy who was pissing, he told him his name was something new. But when you go and find that, his real stage name is I don't even remember. What was his stage name? Shawty Dred. Shawty Dred is his real stage name. Ain't nothing worth listening to. Trust me on that. You're not gonna pee on me, period. Oh my God, this is sad. I didn't know that was here. Yeah, oh my God. She pushed that baby and watched him drown and said she didn't know him. She didn't know him. Glad I came up on your channel. I love it. Keep pushing. Oh, shout out. Thank you, Chef Don. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome. We just doing local news this morning. And then we do hot topics some other times and stuff like that. I appreciate it. That's what's up. Oh my goodness. What's wrong? Yeah. People are crazy as fuck. F them and their privacy. For real. And that's way too much. This world's getting worse by the second. This is so sad and gross. Poor baby. Crazy cuckoo piece of shit. Yes, I'd still be beating my sister ass. Who you telling? Kings Mina, we on the same page. I'd have showed up on that scene and whooped her mother. She would have been letting the other one in the water. they going after. I'd have fucked her up. I know I would have. I can feel it in my bones, and that's my blood. Yes, brothers, my child, and you just did that shit. Be expecting me to come through. Oh, I'm coming through. That child don't have no sense of mind. They're in your care. I can see how innocent. Yeah, they're gonna throw a tantrum. Yeah, they're gonna throw a fit. My little ones be throwing fits all the time. I grab by their hand. I dare somebody say some shit to me. I got him. He good. I got him. He with me. I got him. We good over here. Let him do him. That's how I feel. But ain't no way we gonna be that close to the lake and he's showing out. No, let's get your ass over here. Let's go. We going way to the middle, way on the other side. We actually going inside. Now you can throw a tantrum in here all you want to. That's what she should have been. But that's why I'm saying this sounds so premeditated. Like, did the grandmother and grandfather really want to keep the child? Hey, I'm asking, allegedly. More information will come out soon, but all right, were y'all okay with just letting her just go do what she wanted to? Was there other abuse? If she was doing this, what other shit was going on in that household when she was off her medication? Like, huh? You ain't gonna just say this shit and let it go. Hey, darling Tiana. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. It was cold here yesterday, too. My heart breaks for him. They are making an excuse for her already with that mental illness shit. Yep. Yeah, we all know what family members can't be around our kids. And she would have been the main one. Get your ass up out of here. You know they coming on. I don't know where you going today. You and your medication. Let me shut up. I'll be coming off mean. I'm just saying. Let me see. All right, so this next story, now I don't have a video for it, but we're gonna talk about it because this is crazy and out of this fucking world. Now this woman in another story out of South Carolina. So family is seeking justice in a target practice killing of a mother to 9 children. Now let's talk about this story. This shit right here got me flipping the script. So this mother and this man, this black mother of 9 children, and this man, their yards are behind each other. So they live on this street and he lives on this street, but their yards face each other. So he has this normal habit of shooting his gun at cans and all things in the yard and shit. And so on this one day in particular, he was shooting at a satellite dish up in the sky. Now it happened to be pointed in the same direction of the woman's house. So he's just shooting at it. And so she yells out there. She's like, yo, cut that shit out. Stop shooting that over here. Well, the next round that fired off was through her kitchen window to her skull, killed her instantly. All her kids were in the house, the 3-year-old and the 4-year-old, they all witnessed this, all right there. Now, the man goes on to say, this is something that I normally do. It was never intentional. I was just trying to shoot at a satellite dish, blah, 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 because they have laws in South Carolina that allows you to do this. Now they're trying to change the law. All of a sudden, because this happened, now they want to change the law. Now, but get into this. We ain't done with this story. Get into this. So after they do they do an autopsy report, they find out that because he had told them that he had shot a satellite dish and the gun, the bullet bounced off the satellite dish into her kitchen window, into her skull. That's what he said. So they had said, if that's the case, on this bullet, we're going to find a bunch of fragments because it hit multiple spots. They said when they got the bullet out of this woman's skull, it was clean and clear. No marks, no fragments, like it had bounced off anything, like it was intentional. Like he literally looked through her window and shot at her. I said, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Now, originally, when this happened and they thought it was just he hit the satellite dish, he got arrested and was released on a $10,000 bond. I said, wow. Wow. There was a fatality at the risk of, at the expense of this man playing around with his fucking toy gun in his backyard. And even that being justified under y'all stupid ass laws allow him to walk free. He should have still been sitting in jail until court. What the fuck he getting off for? So now they go to rearrest him after the lab says, yeah, it was intentional. They go to rearrest him. Oh, now they rearrest him. I'd have been in uproar. I'd have sued the motherfucking city. What you mean? He should have stayed arrested. What do you mean? So this woman, and bless her heart, her name is Keisha Tate. Bless her heart and her children. She died from a single gunshot wound to the chest on the evening of August 27 while inside her mobile home. She had been telling him all along, like, yo, you need to really cut that out. And it came from his 45 caliber handgun. It pierced her chest. She died. Investigators later determined that his narrative wasn't supported by the physical evidence. And this is when they upgraded his charges to murder. Now he's at the Cherokee County Detention Center. And at his bond hearing, he maintained the shooting was a complete accident. He's confused about the whole situation. He's done all kinds of yard work for this lady and everything. Nah, bro. And so one of the neighbors goes on to say, it is mind-blowing that a person thinks it's all right to target, practice, or discharge a gun within close proximity of so many other homes in a neighborhood. If that man got to know my sister, he would have never killed her. She would have gave him a place to stay, food to eat, clothes, all of that, anything he needed, even for his family. Her sister says he deserved to be gone from her children. She did not deserve to be gone from her children. And so now they're trying to push for a new law called the Keisha Tate Target Law, which prohibits gun owners from firing guns in residential neighborhoods. Jail records do not list whether or not Lucas has retained an attorney, as well as when he's expected to appear in court. So there is a GoFundMe page for her support. I'm going to drop the link in the chat if you want to. The goal was $6,000. She's raised $15,251. Mind you, she has 9 children in a mobile home. So rest in peace to Keisha Tate, and that's the link to the GoFundMe if you want to reach out and support. These people are fucking nuts. They are nuts all the way around. I'm trying to tell you. Good morning, Joe. What up, Joe? Good morning. This pissed me all the way off. For real though, I'm telling you. She said stop, and he proceeded to shoot. He needs to be charged. Give him the chair, period, and then let me shoot him afterwards to make sure it's completely done. That is crazy. Yes, he needs child endangerment charges too. I agree. Yard work. He killed her. What the fuck that mean? He did yard work for her. I did. I'm so confused. I did all kinds of things for her. Yard work. I don't give a fuck if you moved her laundry machine to the other side of the mobile home. That don't got nothing to do with you using her as target practice. The fuck? How in the hell did it get to her is the question. It should have ricocheted off of something else. That bullet was clean. That mean you really was going for her. The hell you mean? He won't be confused when his ass gets convicted. I'm telling you now, and end up in jail with the right folks. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning. People are so reckless with guns, just like shooting in the air. People don't understand that bullet has to come down somewhere with some force. And then there was X. Good morning. First off, why was he shooting at a satellite? Just stupid and ridiculous. What the fuck you think you is? And the satellite's in my direction. Why don't shoot at shoot down the street at their satellite? Go shoot at a stop sign. And then her kids are sitting in the house. That's what got me. You doing this all while this woman's children, she's sitting in the kitchen making dinner. You did this all while her children was right there. That makes no sense at all to me. Chef, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the support. Shout out to Chef Don. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I was thinking the same. How is it legal, bro? Shoot at satellites. It's not at all. Now, this next story is crazy as hell too. Okay. Now, before I begin, I just want to remind everybody, please hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification bell on because you never know when I go live or drop a video, and that notification bell will keep you in the loop. And if you want to support the channel, you can send a super chat or Cash App. Cash App is $Roman L. Jackson. And I appreciate all the love and support you all show the channel, all of it, everything. He's touched too, right? Bates, what the fuck type of gun you shooting? That satellite special kind of stupid. Now, I don't know if y'all have heard this story about this Texas carjacking. Now, this shit is crazy to me. So, okay. So this man, right? Family man of 2, wife is pregnant. His son is 2 years old, and his son is sitting in the car. So this man is in this corner store or at this store, and he gets into an argument about money with this other man. Now, the other man sees him with his young child. So things die down. Now the man goes to his car with his child, and they're in the parking lot. The man comes out the store who was arguing with the man, calls him over, like, come here, yo, come here, let's talk about it. And so he gets out his car. We're gonna watch the footage of this. He gets out his car and they start to arguing. All of a sudden, he pulls out a knife and stabs this man. The man tries to run off and ends up collapsing. The person who stabs him jumps in his SUV, not knowing that the baby was in the back, drives the SUV, parks it somewhere, gets out and goes somewhere. Mind you, it's 94 degrees in Houston, Texas at this time. By the time the police gathered everything and figured out where the car was, the baby died in the backseat of the car. I'm like, you know what? He needs to be, I want you to throw this man in a fence full of alligators and dogs. He needs to be ate the fuck up. What a senseless thing to do. What a senseless fucking thing to do. And here we go, killing each other over something stupid. Bro, this fucking ignorance, it just goes to show you that some people don't know how to deal with their emotions. This man got his own child. You saw him with this child. You knew he had his child. Why not pull it when he's by himself? I would never try to test a man when in front of their child. That's some weak bullshit. I tell you that all the time. Why try to catch somebody at their weakest moment? Yeah, that's because you're a weak bitch, but never with your child. That's completely inappropriate. So let's get into this. Now, mind you, this is going to be a little graphic because you will see all of the interaction. You're going to see him drive off with the car as well. Rest in peace to this man. Nobody ever deserves to die. And then their child as well is caught in the mayhem as well. Some bitch shit to me.
Violent encounter in a supermarket parking lot that left a father dead. The suspect is then accused of leaving the victim's young son to die in a stolen SUV. 38-year-old Bolanli Federo appeared in court for the first time today, where his bonds were set at more than $1.5 million.
Jason Miles is live from the initial shooting scene with the latest on this. Jason, this story just keeps unfolding.
Absolutely, Rakin. We've learned the victim and the suspect had a history. They knew each other, even worked together at a security guard firm at one point. They had a heated argument in this parking lot that led to a deadly shooting, all of it caught on surveillance camera. The suspect in white sat in PC court with his head in his hands, awaiting his appearance, which included a description of his alleged crimes, which began with an argument Tuesday afternoon in this parking lot.
The suspect then produced a firearm and shot the victim multiple times at close range.
Police say this surveillance video shows suspect Bolanli Federo waving victim Michael Asian into the lot from a nearby convenience store. Federo told investigators that he argued with Asian, a man he'd known for decades, about money Asian owed. The video then shows the actual shooting before Asian runs away and collapses. Fast forward a few frames. That's when police say Federo jumped into the victim's SUV and took off. It was found hours later on Elm Street after Asian's wife reported him and their 2-year-old son, Micah, missing. The toddler was found dead in his car seat, possibly from heat exhaustion.
The windows were rolled up and the engine was turned off. The outdoor temperature at the time was around 93 degrees.
A neighbor who shared this video with me from Tuesday afternoon says the dark SUV in the background was later surrounded by police. He and others feel terrible knowing a helpless child was inside. And outraged, someone is accused of leaving him there to die. And more on today's court proceedings.
That shit had me. That shit blew my whole fucking entire mood. I don't understand how somebody could just be so fucking reckless to even care. You didn't even want to just get the child out, maybe, take the child to the nearest store, drop them off. Let me just tell you how much that would have went to your sentence. See, when you still fucked up. You killed somebody. But at the same time, being able to protect that final life, saying, hey, okay, I killed someone, but I'm still going. That would have went far in your court case, sir. You'd have been able to been offered some level of leniency. You protected the child. You offered some level of consideration. It was definitely a targeted motive. You didn't just outright kill someone. But that second, the child, that's what pushed your ass over. And you look like a heathen. So you already just fucking boxed yourself into the corner. I don't understand. It would have took nothing for you to just open the door, roll a window down, you know what I'm saying? Leave the car in the gas station, say it's a baby in the back, and ran off. Why not? You just, a whole fucking child just gone, just like that, y'all, because you wanted to be an asshole. That shit is crazy. He knew that baby was in the car, just evil. I saw this and I live in Texas, broke my heart. I can't stand people coming for folk when they are with children. That is crazy. That is so crazy to me. Why he even have a bond? Like, what the hell? Just wicked as hell. Wow. Wow, that's sad. Wait, so he shot and not instead of, yeah, he shot. I'm sorry, he shot him. Electric chair and a fucking poison pill. Hope they beat his ass over and over again. Oh yeah, he gonna get something. He's gonna get something. I'm sorry, they should put him in general population, let inmate justice prevail. A damn fire station, a church, a hospital, anywhere. Hell, he could have just rolled the windows down. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, damn, you really were that fucking mad? And it was an argument about money. Who knows? He owe you this, he owe you that. Who knows what amount of money it was? But damn. Then you get your revenge already. You had to just go and steal the car and then just leave the baby in the back. My heart goes out to the mother. You know, my heart goes out to the mother, his sibling, the child's sibling. They've lost a whole, half of their family right there. The father and another baby. Shit you can't replace. No pictures gonna bring that back or nothing. Some people are just evil. They really are, and don't give a fuck. Yeah. Now. So we have a 13. I don't know if you all have heard this story either. So we have this mystery surrounding the death of a sweet child, a 13-year-old who vanished over the weekend before his body was found in the woods. Now, if you saw my description box, I put, was it somebody he knows? Because as we're gonna see in this story, what happened was he had been missing since the weekend, straight A student, right? And then the family had got word that your son is killed. Somebody killed your son. So they have been swamping the whole weekend trying to find her baby. And this other woman, not related, was walking in the neighborhood with her child and saw him laying under a tarp covered up. And they almost had like a vigil of liquor bottles around the body. And so that was the mystery, because it became, was this your friends? Did something happen between you and your friends? And they all, were, because that shit happens when, y'all get into something with friends and then it goes wrong. And, then you get a situation like this. So the mother, we're going to watch her statement. The mother, she's like, she thinks it's somebody that he knows, somebody close by, and she wants that person to do the right thing. So within the coming weeks, I think if they left a vigil for this man and covered him up and tried to protect the body as much as they could, there was some level of care there. There was some level of care. And if it was that much care, somebody gonna talk. It's just gonna be only a matter of time before this story comes out. And 13-year-old boy doing well in school, you all, straight A fucking student. Jamie Crosby is his name. Jamiron Crosby is his name. So I want to play this clip for you all. Let me check over these comments. I saw the video of a lady leaving her kids in the car to go in the store. A man jumps in the car and took off, realized kids was in the back, and turned around and brought them back. I mean, at least that softens the punishment that's coming, because you still gonna get punished for stealing my fucking car and taking the kids. That little bit of time you took my kids, you were kidnapping. I don't give a you dropped them off, but you were still kidnapping. It lessens the, but I dropped them off. Yeah, he did drop them off, Your Honor. But what can we do about the 2 minutes that he turned around? And is there anything that can come with that? You see what I'm saying? But it does go a long way. Yes, for the mother and the family. And it's so sad to know that it was somebody in his clique. And we rarely talk about how this kind of stuff happens. It happens when you have violence. Who knows if he was gang related? I don't know. We're just now getting details of the story. I literally saw this morning and was like, oh my fucking God, this little baby. So let's get into this clip. And mind you, the mother talks about it too. She goes there and saying, yeah, I know it's somebody close by. I know it's somebody in the family. And that's what got me. I was like, wow. She's like, he was set up. So rest in peace, Jamarion Crosby. All these young babies losing their life, y'all. Lithonia, Georgia.
Alive. We have some new details in the homicide of a 13-year-old boy in metro Atlanta. Jamarian Crosby's body was found Monday afternoon. This was near a park in Lithonia. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn has spoke with Crosby's mom tonight. And Cody, what did she tell you about how her son was killed?
Ron, Chanel Crosby told me her son was shot. She believes he was set up, jumped, shot, and then left for dead.
We are going to get him.
A mom determined to find whoever killed her baby.
I'm pretty sure he fought back as hard as he could, but I believe he was outnumbered.
13-year-old Jamarian Crosby's body was found behind a townhome on Parkway Trail at the edge of Lithonia Park on Monday afternoon.
We know that it's someone close.
Chanel Crosby believes whoever did this had some remorse because of how they left the scene. Not to jeopardize the case, I won't give specific details, but Chanel says her son's killer or killers didn't run off right away.
It was senseless. So if you're watching me, I know that you're thinking about Jamira. It was no reason why they had to take his life.
A life taken too soon. Since the homicide, family and friends held a vigil for Crosby, remembering a kid who had his whole life ahead of him.
His birthday coming up. He said he was going to get a job or work permit.
Crosby will never see his 14th birthday. A reminder not to take life for granted.
Last year, I didn't expect for us to be spending our last birthday together. I had smushed a cupcake in his face. Yeah, right. Everything gonna be okay. I know Jamira here in spirit. He got a lot of people behind him.
Another census act, another census act coming to us out of Lithonia, Georgia. It's so sad, you know, and the mere fact that he was 13 years old, and it's the kind of shit that they're dealing with at 13 years old. It should send a signal to everybody, parents, children involved. This shit is real. You can have a straight A student, Black young man doing well in school, but it still factors in their environment that you should also consider. Young, who knows all the things that he was involved in, but clearly, whatever it was, it led to this. And it's so sad that it's people that he was around, 13 years old. And I hope when this comes out that we find out more about the perpetrators, the suspects, because what's going to be key, and we always got to stay tuned to this, is age. How old were these men? Were they old men, older men? Were they younger men around his age? Because that tells you a lot as well. This is a 13-year-old boy being under the influence of how old? He shouldn't have never been around them in the first place. And that's something that also is sort of vibrant in our community. We got these old, fucking non-factor as people leading our younger folks down this path of it's okay to be a thug or it's okay to do all this shit. It's not, because some people don't make it out clearly. So rest in peace to Jamarian Crosby. My condolences to the family. We really do need to do a better job of protecting our own. How in the world do these people keep leaving their children in a hot car? I have a 2012 Cadillac, and it reminds me to look in the back. Like, I don't get it. It happens way too often. Yes, please make sure y'all hit that like button too. Damn, she's strong prayers for his family. Yes, she seems like she's seen a lot of death. So sad. 13-year life hasn't even got started yet. It's so sad. 13 years old. 13-year-old baby. Yeah. Now, this next story, no video for it, but I got to tell y'all about this. So this Florida man charged in deaths of his ex-wife and stepson in dispute over lights left on in the house. Yes, that's what I said. They got their lives taken from them because they left the lights on in the house. So let's get into this. So this story comes to us out of Florida, right? So now back in June, this man and his ex-wife, they got a divorce, but they still lived in the house, right? And he did not like that she still got to live in the house, but because by the divorce agreement, he was still paying the bills on the house because she was always a homemaker, but she could still live there until she found her own place. So he was going out of town this one weekend, and he turned the power off in the house for the weekend because he wasn't gonna be there, and put a lockbox on the electrical power and left town for the weekend, thinking, they ain't gonna have no power. Shit, the fuck. Well, she called her son over, which would be his stepson, and he came over, took the lock off the box, turned the power on so his mom could have some power, and then put a new lock on the lock that the man couldn't have control over. Well, when he got back in town, he was furious. He was livid. He went in that house, and the stepson was there. They had an argument, and he pulled out a gun and shot both of them, point blank range. He got back in his truck, sat in the driveway, called the police, and told them what he did, and they came and arrested him. And he said, they had the power on, it shouldn't have been on, and this was the result of that. And I said, wow, you really didn't love them to get with. Fuck a divorce. Y'all needed to not live together. If you could just shoot them over power, I can imagine what else was going on. Now, before this, she had alleged domestic abuse from this man from the get-go throughout their marriage, and she had wanted to get a divorce. So here's my other thing, and I'm not putting any blame on her or anything like that, but if the whole reason to get a divorce from him is because of the patterns of abuse, why would it then be okay to still live there? I think at that moment in time, that was your out. That was the way to get out. Maybe your stepson had a place so you can come stay with him, but I don't think that served you any justice either. That served you any well either, because obviously you lived there with him and this happened. Now, over power, though, it just made me feel like, damn, he was doing a lot more to you. God bless the stepson for coming over, but he also lost his life too. And he was a father of 3 kids, a husband. Now you got 2 people gone because of power. Y'all, I'm saying, like, damn, this shit is crazy. So yeah, over lights, y'all, in the house. Lights. It ain't funny, but as I think about, like, damn, I just be grateful to turn my lights on. These motherfuckers losing lives over just cutting the box on. Yes, senseless. And these are real people lives, y'all. Just trifling. Damn, my mom must stay on us about her life, but she didn't knock us off. Glad he wasn't my daddy. I only get mad like that when they leave the toilet running. Oh yeah, why the lady didn't move? That was my thing. That was my whole thing. And I mean, you got to be logical and think about it. Like, why not just get away? And this came to us out of the USA Today. Why not just get away? The man was 47 years old. The ex-wife was 48, and the son was 28 years old. This happened in D-Land, which is about 35 miles of North Orlando. He called. He was in the driveway. He surrendered himself. He told investigators he shut the power off to the house, locked the electrical panel, and when he came back, he was so upset and it started an argument, which ultimately resulted in these 2 people being shot. He told investigators that he was attacked and punched in the face prior to the killings, but Henderson said he appeared unscathed. He was being held without bond as of Thursday. Yeah, he needs both a poison pill and he needs to be a firing squad, both at the same time. Take the pill. As soon as you swallow, just shot. That way we know everything is being killed off. Fuck you. That's some senseless ass shit. Hey, Hot Spicy Tea, what up? Hey, boo. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to the mods in the building. Yeah, and it's always my lights. Turn my lights off, y'all. I don't pay no bills here. That was my TT. Don't be cutting her air on, changing her temperature. Open the window up first. And she is a stickler on that. Like that was her at her house. But she never want to off me, though. Mine never want to take me out. Like, we used to leave the door open to the garage, and she would come out there. Holy, keep leaving this door open. We never get in trouble. I mean, that's some shit for you right there. I think I value someone's life over the panel box to the electricity. Like, come on. And shout out to everybody here that's watching. Shout out. Thank you for joining me. We're doing local topics this morning. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. I appreciate it. Sleeping with the enemy all the whole fucking time. The house was burning. The house was burning, which is a movie that was the first door. I don't know if y'all remember with that Sarah Fawcett. That was the first window into Wow. I watched that movie and I watch it every so often, but wow. That one was a crazy on domestic violence. My mama will go over my house and will call me at my man's apartment just to tell me my grown kids left all the lights on at my house. I mean, you know, it's definitely something to consider, but we ain't taking nobody out for it. All right, y'all. So I don't know if you all have been paying attention to this story about this Georgia woman. Okay, she's 24. She's been missing for 2 months. And now police are coming out just saying that basically she was murdered. So let me give you the details of this story because I be doing my own little private eye. So this young lady, she was basically leaving her place in Douglas, I think it's Douglasville, Georgia. She had traveled from her own place on July 30th to meet her homegirl 30 miles away. Now they had planned to kick it with these dudes at this apartment complex, but basically from her friend's point of view, they never met up and they never hung out. However, the girl, and let me make sure I say her name right because it's Alanya. I hope it's right, y'all. I'm trying to pronounce it. Alanya Lenore. So Alanya Lenore ended up at that apartment complex anyways. Police was able to determine that she went there anyways because she had a key badge that scanned her in. So she went into the apartment. They got video footage of her going into the apartment on July 30th, but no one has seen her since then. No footage of her coming out of the apartment or anything. So now police have came out and basically said, look, what we believe has happened is she went in there between these two men because they have one of the suspects in custody. They're still looking for the other suspect. And I got a clip I'm going to play for you all. They basically said, look, she was at this location because they have checked the location now and they can't find any fucking evidence of her being there anywhere. There's nothing. They must have cleaned this scene up really well. They think that she was dismembered, put in a suitcase, and put to some other location, but no one's talking. So they're looking to get this other suspect because when you have two suspects in custody who both committed a crime, you always use one against the other. Well, he already routed you, so you might as well tell us what he did. Right now, they only have one suspect who ain't talking. So they're on the hunt looking for the other suspect. The family just assumed she was missing and that police hadn't found her and they weren't looking for her. But as more details came out to find out, yeah, this was foul play. So y'all get into this story. Here we go. Another one, another group. And before I go on, here's my thing. The friend, they said the friend was no longer a suspect. She had nothing to do with it because it appeared that she was cleared, that they never met up or anything like that, and she had nothing to do with the disappearance. I'm going to share the video before I say anything about that. Because what friend? What friend is this? Yeah, right.
The disappearance of a local woman. Atlanta police are looking for a man that they say murdered 24-year-old Alanya Lenore. Channel 2's Larry Spruill live at Atlanta Police Headquarters tonight. Larry, police said that it all started off as a missing persons case.
And Justin, they said she disappeared on July 31st, and then the next day they filed a missing persons report. But tonight they say that they believe she was murdered.
Our ultimate goal is to locate the body of Alani and be able to provide closure for this grieving family.
Right now, police are trying to put together the pieces to such a horrible puzzle. They're investigating the murder of 24-year-old Alanya Lenore. Although they're still looking for her body, they know these two men, Deontay Reynolds and 29-year-old Stephen Obiate, are responsible for her death. Police said the case started off as a missing persons case, but they quickly found out that's not the truth.
Our missing persons unit was able to utilize technology and video information to discover the last known location for Alanya. The initial investigation showed us that Alanya was last seen during the early morning hours of July 31st at 1660 Peachtree Street.
Police says she was there at the apartments with Deontay Reynolds and 29-year-old Stephen Obiate. Now, during the investigation, they realized there was foul play involved in her disappearance.
We did know that she did not at any point leave 1660 Peachtree Street on her own accord. We do believe that she had died inside the apartment and then was potentially relocated to an undetermined location.
Neighbors at the complex can't believe this happened.
You never know people and who they are, really.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't look like anything like that can happen here.
Now, I just got a statement from Lenore's mother. It says, in part, that until her body is recovered, we remain hopeful. We are asking for you to please contact APD or Crime Stoppers if you have any information on the whereabouts of the second suspect, Stephen Obiate, in this case. We are locked.
Crazy as hell. Like that's crazy. Now, after hearing that, my thoughts about the friend. See, I don't feel like the friend has been as forthcoming, allegedly. And I don't know all the details, but from everything I've read, she's steered very clear from saying anything, but we never met up. We had no location. Now, I would be dumb to not think the police isn't thinking the same way I'm thinking. I'm sure they have assessed phone records, ping locations that can rule her out as being a suspect. So I thought about that as well. Like, okay, maybe she was ruled out because her phone didn't ping to that location at all. But who knows, days before leading up to this, weeks leading up to this, months leading up to this, that the other girl, the friend, what her relationship was to these two men. Now, they did say that the woman who was killed, Alanya, she knew they weren't strangers to her at all. She knew them. She definitely knew them. So them being there wouldn't have been a surprise to her. However, she's been missing since then. So who knows what kind of conversations have been going on between the suspects and the friend prior months to, maybe the friend was supposed to be in this whole thing situation. Who knows? But more details have to come out. Like I said, the man isn't talking. So we don't really know too much of, was there an argument? Was there drugs involved? Did something go wrong? Was, what was the force, the factor that caused her to lose her life? We don't know any of that yet, but I will stay tuned to this story. And, shout out to the family. They're holding hope out alive that without a body, she's still physically present. And, I send my condolences to them, Allegedly, I feel like they definitely did something to this woman's body. She's gone. And I think they need to turn their attention they need to re-scrub everything. She don't just miss it. You don't just go missing out of thin air. Like, what's going on? I don't think so. Her girlfriend. That's what I say, Fates. I'm telling you, ain't no way the last person I was in contact with was with her. And we were supposed to drive somewhere together, but instead I go there and you don't. So why you didn't go? What you know that I didn't know? I mean, these are questions the public have. Maybe the police have answers to it, but I'm just looking at what we've been given. Why not? That lady should have been on the line too. Good morning, Sharika. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Shout out. Happy Friday. If I knew we were supposed to meet at a certain place, I'm telling it all. After exactly. I'm letting everybody know. Yeah, we was talking, and what happened was she was supposed to go over there, do a drop off or a pickup, but they tried to rob her. What happened? What went on? I know she's missing. Get the fuck out of here. She had a whole part right. They look like monsters. Oh yeah, they did it. Look at them. Wow, this world is very crazy. That's what I thought. Why would she meet up with them alone? I wouldn't be surprised if her friends set her up. People nowadays hold no loyalties. They will sell you out. Yeah, they will. Yeah. I don't know why these young ladies keep going to meet men at their house. You're supposed to meet them in public, period. I mean, what's wrong with meeting somebody at a fucking gas station across the street from the police station? It is nothing wrong with that. That can be romantic too. You will always remember. You remember we met in front of the police station? It was raining outside and shit. That's your security and it's a memory. I think about that shit. I surely will. Just looking at them, I wouldn't have met them at a police station. No way. Listen, I'm talking about meeting. That's the only place we would have met. The fuck? Y'all ain't finna be sitting up in my place and I held the door open like, what's going on in here? Oh, hell no. Something's. And nowadays, the way people share locations and the way you record and dial 911, she didn't do any of that. It had to be very much so held against your own will. There's nothing. Police hasn't even told us if they've recovered her cell phone or any documents of her. That's traceable. I mean, that's all the stuff that would give us some signs like, oh, okay, she moved. No, We don't know. It sounds like her friend set her up. Why would she let her go there by herself? I'm certainly not letting my friend go by herself. You driving, first of all, from Douglasville to where this location, which is 30 miles away, that's quite a bit of distance. And we were supposed to go together. Why? What's up? Why you didn't show up? Why? What's the problem? Yeah, I know. I hope that family questioning that girl. I hope the sisters and the cousins in that family, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm just gonna say it like that. I hope they, they done did a stakeout, because I certainly would have staked that ass all out. So what what's going on? Now let's switch gears to another story. Now remember, we've been having a number of stories where people get mad when you don't say thank you to them. So you remember the Family Dollar story where the man opened the door for the two women, and they didn't say thank you or anything, and he pulled out a gun. And we were like, we were mixed here, because I was like, damn nigga, don't do nothing for no one and expect them to do something back. Always just do it out of the kindness of your heart and just hope in return someone's gonna give you that energy back. But because when I hold the door open, I just be like, here you go. Because it'd be by nature of convenience. I'm walking out, you're behind me. Let me just hold this. I'm going that way anyways. I don't even if you say thank you to me or not, I don't really look for it. Now I do say thank you. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll run to the door. Oh, no, thank you. I got it. I do all of that. Well, here we are. Another story, another situation. This time, Brooklyn, New York. So this man was killed in a dispute over not saying thank you at a Brooklyn smoke shop. Let me tell you, this man literally, and unfortunately, it was a junkie. So this man is in the smoke shop, gets done doing his business, and as he's exiting, this man opens the door for him, so he can comes out, and he just walks straight out. And the man said, "You could say thank you." He said, "You didn't have to open the door." Now that for me was like, okay, yeah, you're a little rude, bitch. And you're right, I didn't have to open the door, but still at the same time, I did. How to be a jackass 101. So the man then starts to get into an argument. And so the dude goes back inside the store for like security, like, yo. So as he's in the store, the dude was telling him like, yo, I'll cut you. The dude was like, do it. If you're going to stab me, if you're going to really stab me, stab me. The man stabs him, dead. I said, oh, and now your story is, why are you in jail? Because this man didn't say thank you to me. So y'all get into this story. Y'all watch this clip. Same situation as we always see. These motherfucking egos. It's like, put your ego to the side. Everybody ain't got to do what you think they're going to do. Just learn how to deal with people not treating you the way you want them to be treated. Unless they physically hurt you. This man not saying thank you to you did not cause you no harm.
Searching for a killer after a man was fatally stabbed last night. Police say it started as an argument outside a Park Slope smoke shop, and that quickly turned violent. That's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu live with the latest. Janice.
Good morning, Ken. We actually just got new details from the employee who was here when everything was happening. He tells me this all started when the victim and the suspect were walking into the store together. The employee says the victim held the door open for the suspect, and the suspect did not thank him. And the victim asked, are you going to thank me? I held the door open for you. And that is when this argument kind of started. Now, I want to get to some video that was shot last night shortly after this deadly stabbing happened. We're told things escalated from that verbal argument to a fight that got physical inside and outside of the store. It ultimately led to that 37-year-old man being stabbed to death. He was stabbed in the abdomen as well as the neck. Now, the employee says the victim came back inside right after that happened, saying he'd been stabbed and screaming. The employee who was in the store watching this the entire time says he tried to de-escalate the situation and, of course, was shocked as to what was happening.
They started arguing about that. Then it started getting physical. Then the victim dragged the other guy inside the store, and then he dragged him outside. And then he got the knife in his hand. The other guy that stabbed him tried to take off on the bike, and the victim won't let him go. All that happens is one stab on the chest.
Well, and I want to get to some brand new surveillance video we also got as well. This shows kind of the progression of the fight going in and out of the store. We're told there were a lot of words exchanged between the victim and the suspect. And then ultimately, someone who works at the store tells me the suspect went outside, and it looks like he got a knife from the bike that he was on, the e-bike that he was on, and ultimately that led to that deadly stabbing. The store owner says, not the store owner, the store employee actually, excuse me, says that he called 911. They were here right away, and that victim, we don't know his name, we don't know much about him, but one of a man that he knows says that they actually stayed in a shelter together. That man was allegedly staying in a shelter just a couple of blocks from here, and that friend was very upset when he heard what had happened. Again, police are searching for that suspect this morning. He rode off on an e-bike. We have not gotten any information as to a physical description, but we'll get that to you as soon as we get it from police.
Disgusting. So it's another homeless man attack. Clearly, he was living in the shelter. All because he didn't say thank you. And I'm reading the comments. And good morning, Dr. On-Site April. Good morning. Shout out to you and happy Friday. I had that happen to me before. I was going to cash in my ticket. I was excited. Dude aired my ass out. I took it like a soldier and apologized. I be mad when people don't say thank you, but not pulling a gun. Now, it ain't that serious. Shout out. And until we get together, who are these friends? I'm one of them. I get pissed off if I hold the door and you don't say thank you. I be like, you welcome. Good morning, everyone. I've been listening while I was packing lunches and getting my family ready for their day. Thanksgiving. Oh, of course, Miss Queenie. Good morning and happy Friday. Yes, for the lunches. Yes. I remember them days. So another crazy incident. They haven't found the man, but I don't know why, because it's clearly footage of him. We saw clearly of who both these men were on the camera. So I'm sure they can apprehend them. Both of them look homeless to me, so I don't think it should take them hard to find a man. But we'll stay tuned to this. But the lesson here, you all, is for us to walk away is to understand that people take holding the door open for you serious. We've seen more. This is our third story here on the King Roman News Channel of people being really, really mad and almost getting their lives axed over not saying thank you. We had the Family Dollar situation. I think before that we had another situation, and now we have this situation here in Brooklyn. So, it don't hurt you to say thank you. But if you don't realize that this kind of shit happens, it's definitely eye-opening to me. Like, oh, okay. I know I don't care. It don't hurt me to say thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, I be trying to rush like, oh, you ain't got to do it. All that good stuff. But if you don't do it to me, I ain't going to want to off you. That ain't my prerogative. All right. Our last story of the day I want to pay some attention to is this Irene Gakwa story. This is the woman who moved to U.S. with big dreams, and she met a boyfriend on Craigslist, and then she's vanished. And so this story is so fascinating because she moved from Nigeria. I think it was Nigeria with her living with her mom and dad. I want to make sure it's Nigeria. I don't want to say the wrong place. Kenya. Okay. So she moved from Kenya in 2019, right? So she had lived in Kenya with her mom and her dad. She was a daddy's girl. So her daddy gave her everything she wanted. And they oftentimes would tell her, get out the house, girl. Go get you some sunlight. Get out the house. But she stayed in the house. Then finally in 2019, she told them, I want to go to the United States and live with my brothers, explore my freedom. Now, her brothers had lived in Iowa. Her brothers had lived in Des Moines, Idaho or something like that. Des Moines is the place. And they had, both of them, they had their own families and stuff like that. So she moved in with one of her brothers, and she had lived, there for a while. What they didn't know is that she had met this guy, Heitman, this fat ass here, his fat ass, Nathan Heitman. She had met his fat ass on Craigslist. And ain't no allegedly, it is what it is. She met him on Craigslist, and no one had knew. But one of the wives of one of her brothers said that when they were on a shopping trip or out and about, she had told her about the guy. Like, yeah, I met a guy on Craigslist, and I think I'm gonna go, be with him. Now, the girl never told her brothers or said anything until now, this instance. And so she ended up, going to live with him. And they didn't know that during that time she had relocated to Wyoming. They had relocated together. I think it's called Meridian or something like that, Gillette or something, Wyoming. And so she had FaceTime. During this time, she would be FaceTiming her mom and dad through WhatsApp and shit like that. And so in a particular instance, when she FaceTimed her dad had said that she looked like she was hungry. Her hair looked like it was real coarse, and like because normally the way she wear her hair is not normally like that. He said it looked thin. She didn't sound as joy. Her smile wasn't the same. It was like a quick smile. It wasn't the same. And she was supposed to come visit because normally she would go and visit them. Mind you, while she was living with her brother, she was in a community college school. She wanted to go to school for nursing. She wanted to go and work in a hospital. So when she moved to Wyoming, she ended up still enrolling in a community college, going to school, wanting to do nursing. But she would also go visit her family in Iowa for Thanksgiving and stuff. But they never saw her. She was supposed to come for Christmas, never saw her, anything like that. And so the sister finally told, the wife finally told the brother about this guy. And then once they found out about the guy and stuff like that, that's when all hands went on deck. So in February, that's one of this year is when the father and them filed a missing report. The brothers filed a missing report in March of this year in Wyoming as well. Now, during this time, on February 25th of 2022 this year, Heitman had been using her credit cards. He took out like $3,000 out of her bank account, charged up money on her credit cards, deleted her email account, phone went inactive, and he was sending false text messages to the parents. Now, mind you, when she would text the parents during this whole entire time, she would text in their native language. Well, the messages started coming in English, and it was like they were translated by Google. So all of these things started happening, which is one reason why the family back in Kenya decided to file a missing report in February, and the brothers followed up in March. And so, this time goes on. They never do anything. Finally, the police arrest this man in May on identity theft and using her credit cards and money and all of that stuff. But they're not nothing on her missing and being her disappearance because they don't have a body. They don't have anything like that. So then there's this girl, white girl. Shout out to you, girl. She created a TikTok to follow this case, and she was sticking it to this motherfucker, Nathan Heitman. She was following him. She was doing more work than the damn police was doing work. So he decided to sue her and take her to court for stalking. Like, she's doing too much for me. And the court said, no, fuck that. She can do what she's doing. So it leads us to now where we're still looking, still asking for information. This man is still out in the public, out and about, free and everything. How the ex-wife, the wife, didn't say anything earlier. I'd have been said she dating someone, especially you tell me a white man, you dating a white man. I've been telling my brothers, like, y'all know she looking at a white man. And, not to be funny, but you came away from Kenya and we're here. Those were some early signs, sweetheart. So y'all get into this clip. This was a very, very disturbing story.
From Kenya, came to America to live out her dream, a newcomer in a foreign land who then vanished. In our Missing series tonight, we take you to Wyoming and the mysterious disappearance of Irene Gakwa. As you are about to see, Irene had big plans for her future. She wanted to be a nurse. She has a family that loves her, and they say she would not take off without telling them. They also don't buy the story they're getting from the man she was planning to marry. Irene Gakwa thrived after her move to America, splitting time living with her brothers, making friends, taking classes to be a nurse. Then she met a man on Craigslist.
It seemed okay. At the time, everything seemed okay. And I didn't really know Nathan, but I told him, hey, if you're going to date my sister, I really, need to know more about you. And it's going to take a time or two to hang out.
Kennedy Wynina learned that in the summer of 2021, Irene moved with Nathan Heitman to Wyoming, and the couple was engaged. Then he says Irene's texts started to raise concern.
So we're from Kenya, and sometimes we mix English and a language called Swahili. We mix a word of English, 2 words of Swahili. So I can tell that was her. But then on March 5th, I text her and ask her something, and she texts back in English, like plain English. So now that I know what I know, maybe it wasn't her.
But Wynina is desperate to know more. Heitman told police Irene packed clothing into 2 plastic bags and announced that she was leaving Gillette, Wyoming, then got into a dark-colored SUV and left the area.
I think that's false. That's a false story. That's just, something he was just saying to just get the police off his porch.
Police were back on that porch soon enough, arresting Heitman, charging him with draining Irene's bank accounts, deleting her email account, and using her credit card at Walmart to buy a shovel, a pair of boots, and a pair of pants. Police say Heitman claimed he did it to force her to contact him in the event she needed money.
Today is 200 days since Irene disappeared.
Stacey Kester never met Irene, but that has not stopped her from putting in hundreds of hours of time looking into the case. She's organized a search with horses that specialize in human decomposition. The teams have used cadaver dogs, literally covering hundreds of miles.
There is a lot of vast open country, and one main road may have 50 to 60 side roads, twist and turn. So it's covering the areas and making sure that you don't go over those same places repeatedly.
And I've covered many missing person cases, and this one felt differently because of nobody at the searches knew who she was.
Wyoming truth journalist Jennifer Coker is amazed at the determination of these search teams. Police have asked the public to be on the lookout for a 55-gallon metal drum, which could be burned and abandoned.
Most recent searches are kind of zeroing in on that barrel, which helps save time too, because you can see a barrel from, we're in these, some of the grass is chest high in some cases along the highway. So we're kind of clomping through stuff. I have a ski pole I use.
The use of social media to find Irene is making for another bizarre twist in the case. Search organizer Stacey Kester hit with a protective stalking order by none other than Nathan Heitman, objecting to her using his name and other information on TikTok.
I was blown away by this because I'm not doing anything wrong. I am looking for a missing woman.
A missing woman who has touched the hearts of strangers and whose family won't give up on finding her.
My parents are spending sleepless nights. Just tell us the truth, then we can stop moving on with our lives.
And if you have any information
on the disappearance of Irene Gakwa, please call the Gillette Police Department. The number is on your screen. And if you have a loved one who is missing or...
I mean, I don't know what else they got to do to just get him, but clearly all the roads lead to him. How in the hell you use her? That's not evidence, credible evidence enough to proceed in the trial to enforce an indictment on this man. You used her cars when she's not using them, and you bought a shovel, boots, and some pants. What you with the shovel for? All of that stuff should be credible evidence to proceed with a case. So I'm shocked that we're at this point where we're still just trying to figure out, because I know they can't proceed without a body. And so there have been cases in America where they've proceeded without a body to get someone. So it's so weird to me. And how do y'all know it's a drum, a gallon drum? Where did y'all get that information from? Did he say something? Did she say something? Is it, that all is so weird to me. It's so bizarre to me that it's taking us to this point where we are now literally, this man is free. He could have been abusing that woman for some time. We just now are finding out about it. It's ridiculous. What the hell? Folks on Craigslist yes, people are still meeting people on Craigslist. That's creepy. And I thought they shut the shit down. I thought it was only for selling cars and looking at places to rent or buy. Ain't no way. While people still meet on Craigslist. Have you heard all the people are saying all these random attacks and murdering of family members or people in general are all happening because of the shots causing the mental illness, the COVID-19 shots? I have not heard that. Are you kidding me? That's the same thing I said. I thought they stopped that years ago. After she missed Thanksgiving, I would have called. Period. He looked like he'd been eating people. Eating people, animals, whole. Ain't no defeathering them or deboning them. He looked like he take them whole straight to the mouth. That's ridiculous. Seriously. I wish we lived in the same state or close to one another. I'd be right there to take care of you or bring you to my house and we sit on the porch and people watch. That's my favorite thing. People watch. I know that's right. This year has been the roughest in a long time, but I'm writing this thing out. Oh, Faith, I hope everything is well, boo. I hope everything is okay. Sending you my love and a hug. Feel this hug. Take it. Sorry to hear. Yeah, as soon as she told me she was dating someone, we have been on it. Protect our people in the diaspora. They don't realize how dangerous the United States is. Yeah. And clearly, this man went through her account the way he did. You think she have a lot of money. Like we talking $37,000, $40,000. It was only like $2,000 or $3,000. And he allowed his newly fiancé boots. Yes. What are you doing with the shovel? That's my thing. They need to circumcise him. She's probably in his. You know what? Where is his family? Ain't none of them said nothing. His big ass. She's a little bitty something. Of course he could have overpowered her. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened to me. That's exactly what I believe. We got to stay tuned. Yes, boo. I hope you feeling a lot better. I hope you're feeling better, boo. It's a sad. This is a sad story here. This is a sad case of searching for love in all the wrong places. I don't know how long she knew this man, but I don't think it was a long enough time for her to even be moving away from her family, having just moved to the U.S. And her brothers. I'm no blame on them at all, but I definitely would have been on him. You moving where? We'd have been right up there. Well, we're gonna help you relocate. This ain't no you just up and pack and. Then he's lying saying she upped and packed out and moved out in the middle of the night, packed her bags up and stuff. Really? Okay. And we didn't see her. Where else is she gonna go? So he had plenty of time to dispose of her body, get rid of her, plenty of time. And now we just gotta sit here. Who knows? This may be a missing persons case for years. Hopefully by the end of this year, this is solved, but we don't know. I'm gonna stay tuned. I definitely am gonna stay tuned. Listen, I'm all in my girlfriend's business. When they holler, they met a new man. Period. Who you telling? And I'm the first one. Share your location. Share your location. I will share my location. I'll be sharing my location like it ain't nothing. Let me just drop you this little pin real quick. It takes you nothing to share your location. Why not be accessible when you're normally not? Like, people need to know the man is guilty, period. That man is guilty. I'm like Magnum PI, baby. You not just you dating. He dating us, period. This is a package deal here, boo. All right, y'all. So let me run down the story. So today we covered the Nyquil sleepy chicken, this whole TikTok challenge, and it's really, really dangerous, especially if you boil in chemicals, medicine, acetaminophen, and all that nasty stuff. That can definitely cause you some harm, especially if you inhale it. We talked about the mother surrogate to her son's child at the age of 56, which is due in November, our baby girl. And you all basically said it's sweet. That's a sweet and kind gesture. While I'm sitting here like, wow. Marc Wilson has been sentenced to 10 years for fatally shooting a 17-year-old. Remember, this was after he was ran off the road by white teens in a truck yelling racial slurs. The self-defense, understanding your ground laws did not work in his favor. And I said, that's some fucking bullshit completely. That's all self. If there ain't no better, clear vision of staying your ground, so you're trying to physically run me off the road, that's harming me. You're causing a threat to me. I'm scared. I can only imagine my passenger. We're all scared. Let me get you up off of me real quick. What other form of stand your ground? What, I'm supposed to swerve my car back into him? The fuck? What is that? I sometimes don't understand how the laws are applied to certain people and then to others. We talked about this janitor who went missing in her own department store after working all day on a shift at night, and she was missing for 4 days. Now, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, body found on Monday. Now, you mean to tell me nobody went in the bathroom stalls to check to see her? Not a customer, not the people who worked the next day on the shift. Yeah, you talk about it ain't foul play, but there's some definitely foul routines going on, from security all the way down to the janitor. And I want to know what store was next to the restroom. Like, y'all ain't smell nothing, you bitches, y'all ain't going to the bathroom. I'd have been asking all kind of questions. Like, this to me don't seem like it's a case that should be just easily dismissed. There's a lot of breach here, a hell of a lot of breach. So I think her name was Bessie. Rest in peace, Bessie. We talked about this Atlanta rapper who was pissing off a balcony for 2 weeks. We're not talking a day. We're not even talking 2 days. I give you 2 days. You know, you think it's cute on a Friday night, you drunk, and then you put that shit on a Saturday. He did this shit for 2 weeks to the point where the residents were just walking by with umbrellas. I'm going to wear an umbrella. Then finally, the person in the building across the street called the police. Across the street, not even our building. Yeah, I'd have had a lot of people. I'd have had a lot of questions. What's going on? His ass would have been on the line too. You don't get your ass into your bathroom pissing off a balcony. And he called himself Mercedes New, but his real name is Shawty Dred. Then we talked about this poor excuse for an auntie who pushed her nephew off of the pier, the Navy Pier in Chicago, and watched him sink to the ground. And now he is in the hospital. He's not going to survive. Of course, he's swollen with a swollen brain. He's bleeding in his lungs. And they're now trying to push that this is a mental health. You know, she was off her meds. She stole a vehicle. She got the boy and drove to the pier to show him a good time. Instead, he's on the ground. And in the video clip, if you watch back, you'll see her standing on the side while emergency medical crew was trying to resuscitate and recover the body. And she's just standing there. I'd have showed up on the scene, and baby, I threw her ass right over. Oops, there's another one. Get that bitch. I'd have monged her, mushed her all in her face. That's one of them hard mushes, like you mushing potato, just mush that bitch in the face. Shout out to this young man. I hope he recovers, but all signs are saying he's not going to recover, especially that damage to his brain. Sad story. We talked about this crazy story in this mobile home community in South Carolina where this man was using beer bottles and shit as his target practice for shooting his .45 caliber gun. And then on this one day, he said he shot at a satellite and it ricocheted into the window of this woman, mother of 9 kids, in front of her 3 or 4 year olds where she was cooking dinner. Blank shot her, killed her. And he said it was an accident. He shot at a satellite dish. Come to find out, when they extracted the bullet from her chest, it was clean and clear. It never ricocheted off of anything. So now he's being charged with murder. He need to be already put in jail. Somebody need to ricochet some shit off his ass naked. Let him run through a field and just let a firing squad go off. You're not living in the fucking wild. It was clearly intentional. She had already ran outside and said, hey, cut all that shit out. You see his people out here. What the fuck you shooting a gun for? And she was in her right mind to do so. Because had she not, and it was one of her kids that guy ended up getting it shot, I would have said, why didn't the mother go outside and say something? Why ain't nobody going to tell this man nothing? But she did. She did exactly what I would have done. I'd have went out there all up on that motherfucker. Like, what's going on? Police would have been there and all. This would have been a whole story. You talking about go viral and record. Bitch, I'd have definitely put you under the scrutiny. Then we talked about the not saying thank you. The guy who got killed for not saying thank you after the door was held open for him in a Brooklyn smoke shop. Now, this is just senseless killing. Now, the suspect is still at large in Brooklyn on, Fleet. So when I get more information about it, I'll share with you. We also talked about this Texas carjacking where the dad was gunned down outside of his car, and the man stole his car while the 2-year-old was in the back seat, parks the car, while the 2-year-old is sitting there for about 4 hours in about 94 degrees weather and dies. So not only do you take the life of the father, but you intentionally take the life of the child, because you could have rolled the windows down. You knew the man had the child with him because you saw them both in the store before you killed the man. So I hope you go underneath the jail or I hope you get what you deserve in jail. We talked about this 13-year-old who died, and it's so mysterious around his death because his body was found, sort of like a vigil around his body covered in a tarp. And so the mother wants those who did this to come forward. And it's so senseless. Even your friends, even your close ones, your gang, whatever you get yourself involved in, be wary. Not everybody is your friend. This man was 13 years old, a student in school, and this is what happened. So you never know what your child is involved in until shit hits the fans. And unfortunately, this hit the fans. The family had got word over the weekend around Thursday that her son was killed. Your son was killed. And so they put a street team together and they started looking. This woman walking by with her child noticed the baby there was covered up. So rest in peace to Jasmine Crosby. We also talked about this Florida man who killed the ex-wife and the stepson over lights left on in the house. Y'all got to get into that story. Replay it back. Now, that was crazy to me. Over lights, though? Yeah. I don't know about that. Then we covered this sad case of Alanya, Lenore, who's been missing for 2 months under very mysterious circumstances. They have one suspect in custody and another one is at large, and they're asking the community if they have any information for one of these two suspects. Please bring it forward. She went to an apartment complex. She was supposed to go there with a girlfriend of hers, but the girlfriend said that she never showed up and she never had contact with the friend. So they cleared her of any wrongdoing. So now they have footage of her going in, but no footage of her ever coming out. It's been 2 months now. They've cleared and cleaned and checked that place. I don't even think nobody can rent that unit out. It's still literally a crime scene. And so they want to know where the body is. So if you have any information, anybody have any information, please, 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 please. And finally, we ended it on this story of Irene Gakwa, how, a woman who moved to the U.S. from Kenya with big dreams, joined her brothers in Iowa, and then ended up finding a guy on Craigslist, relocating to Wyoming. And in February of 2022, a first missing report was released after text messages to her brother was not right, especially text messages to her mother and father in Kenya. And so now, after looking at all the evidence, everything is pointing to him, but they don't have a body. So I'll stay tuned to this story. I'll definitely keep you all. Here's the suspect, Nathan Heitman. He looks like he's, he carries that weight, that burden of I've done something wrong. So that's what we covered today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please hit that like button if you haven't. And if you haven't subscribe. Baby, you're not just dating us. That story is suspect because how the person for the next shift didn't find her. Did she take her car in the bathroom where the car was sitting right outside the bathroom? It's crazy. He may have catfished her. And when she got there, she saw him, may have tried to leave, and he attacked her. That's plausible. So I guess now that rapper's on the sex offenders list for public urination. I hope he is. As far as that rapper, that's indecent exposure. Yeah, it is. I hope it is. We live in revelations. Yes, we are. All right, y'all. That is it. That is the end of the show for today. Thank you for joining me. Please hit the like button. I'm about to be out. Drop some crowns in the chat. Hit the like button. I appreciate you all for being here with me this morning. And until next time, y'all. Until next time, deuces. Good morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
King let's go, let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman news gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman news.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman news. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman news, coming just for you. King Roman news, coming just for you.